So our topic of discussion today is balance, and we're talking specifically about how to create a perfect setup where you're in balanced and primed, ready to swing that golf club, hopefully with a fair bit of speed and a fair bit of control. So thank you for once again joining me here at the Forest of Arden. We're talking about how to stand the golf ball athletically, correctly, and specifically in this video in balance. And we're going to give you some simple little checkpoints that you can use next time you're practicing or even just videoing your golf swing to ensure that you're setting yourself in good balance. We are trying to swing that golf club around our body at pretty high speed. Therefore, it's important that we get good stability, good balance, and good range of movement, and that comes from the starting position. Just before we get stuck into that content, I'd love you to be a subscriber of the channel if you're not already. There is a link in the description box down below. Go ahead and click that, and also click the little bell notification as well. That'll just mean you'll be notified each time I upload a video. So many of you will struggle with setup, and unfortunately, if I set up correctly today, that doesn't always mean that I will be in 2 months, 6 months, a year. It's something we have to keep checking and keep monitoring because we tend to slip out of position a little bit, and I'm sure many of you will have experienced this. So let's go ahead and take a starting position with a mid-iron, and we're looking at exactly how we're going to set ourselves in terms of balance. We're going to look at the balance due through the feet and how the body is related to that to really help us. We'd like the weight to be pretty much middle of the feet. So I've got some pressure through my toes, some pressure through my heels. I wouldn't be against that being slightly favouring the balls of my feet, but really in the middle is going to be pretty good, and we're going to show you how to do that. The first thing I'd like you to pay attention to is the tailbone. So that's going to be somewhere around about here. Now if I draw a line down from that, let's just make sure my setup is correct, that should be out behind my heels. And that should be out behind my heels by roughly the width of my club head, and hopefully you can see that there. Now this might change if you're exceptionally tall or exceptionally short, but for many of you this is going to be a really good guide to go with. So making sure my tailbone is out behind my heels, that's number one checkpoint. The second checkpoint would be the back of my shoulders, so that would be here, and that line that's running straight down wants to be in front of my knees and just through pretty much where my toes would start, or about the end of my laces. So pretty much the same point there, start of my toes, end of my laces. That's the back of my shoulder here. Now once I can do that, that pretty much gets me in a really nice athletically balanced position. What that will do is it will allow me to have my arms hanging pretty much straight down, as you can see here. And then provided I've got a nice little bit of knee flex, I feel that kind of tricky combination to get. I feel athletically poised, but also quite relaxed as well because I'm in good balance. So those are the checkpoints I would be looking for when I see a golfer stand to an iron. This might change slightly with the driver. We tend to see the arms getting a little bit more extended out this way, and so they're not hanging as much down, they tend to be a little bit more extended. But with your iron clubs, we're looking for those arms to hang pretty straightly down, and we are really looking for those checkpoints to be in place. So just quickly go through what I tend to see as common things. It will be quite rare for me to see someone out this way. It does happen. More often than not, I'm going to see the shoulders getting a little bit too much behind the knees, and you can see those are a little bit too much towards the heel of my foot. So this is going to be putting a little bit too much weight on my heels. We'd also find from this starting position the body tends to rotate a little bit too level. We don't quite get the correct angles in there. So if our balance is compromised at the start, our ability to control this club at 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour is really compromised as well. But also the way that we move our body is compromised, because if we're out of balance, the chances are the body angles are incorrect as well, and that sort of has knock-on effects in the golf swing as well. So what a great little exercise for you to do is, if you're really struggling with your balance, is actually find yourself a wall. So if I stand in this wall behind me, and I'm going to measure about a club width from that wall, and then when I take my address, I want my heels around about that club width from the wall, so I would feel the wall in contact with my tailbone. Really good for those golfers who tend to sit a little bit too much into it. That wall being there means you can't do that. And then from there, you can just make sure that you've got enough tilt out over the golf ball that you can get those shoulders just in front of the knees through the start of the toes and have those arms hanging nicely straight down such as this. So let me go ahead and hit a 6-iron, trying to create those nice balanced positions. I feel that through my feet. I feel nice and relaxed yet balanced. And that should translate to a golf swing which feels fairly balanced. It's not a guarantee, I can still make some strange moves and lose my balance, but if I can start correctly, it gives me so much more chance of being able to control this golf club, which is moving around my body at high speed. I need to be ready to accept the forces that the golf club is going to apply to me. Setting up out of balance is a sure way to get thrown off the golf ball, to have to make recovery movements, inconsistency creeps in, and we start to hit the ball all over the golf course and all over the club face, and that becomes a very, very difficult game to play. So with your iron clubs, there's some checkpoints there that can really help you with your starting position. Check your tailbone, check your shoulders, check your arms, check your knee flex. All those reference points can really help you set yourself up in more balance and hopefully play some better golf when you do that. Thanks for watching. Usual stuff is down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this type of video. Also, give this video a like if you did like it, and share it with someone who struggles with their setup. I'm sure they would appreciate that thought. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again soon.